So we're going to talk about the scaling basics on TikTok, which has to do with mindset and stuff that doesn't have to do with mindset. How the TikTok audience is, how TikTok is changing. We're going to talk about the downside. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. And we're going to talk about how are you going to migrate, or what the changes that you need to make if you want to switch over from Facebook or Google into TikTok. So let's talk about the TikTok audience. The TikTok audience is different than Facebook and YouTube audience in many ways. And I'm talking about Facebook and YouTube just because they're like really big ad platforms, but it's just like different than anything else. So the main reason why I think the TikTok audience is different is because they got way less scammed on Facebook as the Facebook audience. And they have a big research and discovery loop. So when someone sees a product on TikTok, they're more likely to go and search for it. They want to make sure that they're not getting drop shipped. They want to make sure that they're getting the lowest price. They want to make sure that it's not on Amazon and stuff like that. So there's a big research and discovery done. The other thing that you're going to see, if you are the brand owner or if you have access to multi-channel campaigns, is that you're going to see a big uplift on Amazon, on Google search, and other platforms like Bing and stuff like that. The other thing that I noticed, there is a higher lead quality on TikTok. If you work with a network or an advertiser that knows and is able to recognize lead quality and can adjust the CPL that you're getting, that's amazing, and TikTok is for you because you're going to be able to pay a lot more. And I actually tested AOVs on 4 big products that we're spending a lot of money on, and you can see that the AOVs at least 20, 25, 30% on average bigger on TikTok. So that's why I love it. By the way, when I tested different landing pages, advertorials and stuff like that, you can see how the TikTok audience is just different. It reacts differently to different landing pages. So let's talk about the way that it's also changing. TikTok used to be a very young kind of like audience. So if you wanted to target an evergreen kind of like broad audience, it's great. But it also works for older demo. So this is just like an example of an older, really wide demo. Another thing that's coming up is the TikTok shops. TikTok really pushes, the algorithm, the platform is pushing towards TikTok shops. It's big, it's native, it's going to happen on Facebook as well. So make sure that you do that. I'm really into VSLs now, and people actually watch longer videos on TikTok. Let's talk about some issues that people have with the platforms. I'm sure that everyone that really started running on TikTok noticed that their policy is extremely, extremely strict compared to any other ad platform, and that's one big issue. One of the biggest tips that I like giving other people is, I have 2 tips. One, I keep an organic page. So what I do is before I launch ads, I would go and upload and publish those ads on the organic page, and you can see if it's not the same algorithm, it's not the same type of policy, but you can see if the ad gets deleted because of a community guideline thing, then it means that basically you shouldn't go and upload that ad on your business manager or ad account. The other thing that I do, because I want to stay managed on TikTok, is that I have 2 business managers, one for testing, one that I really don't mind the ad accounts go banned there and stuff, so I just want to make sure that ads go live, and the other is just like my green, clean business manager. So this is what happens when you basically publish one of the ads on the organic page and you get like a community guideline strike. Another thing that people that work with TikTok notice is the platform is very premature. It has a lot of UI issues. That's another downside. And the other thing is that people really like talking about how TikTok likes to burn through creative, so the creative fatigue on TikTok. And it's my experience that usually what happens is that people start a campaign with a bunch of ads. They never give the platform a real big chance on exiting the learning mode. And on Facebook, you could get by with some campaign that's not really, learning enough or not getting enough information or conversions. But on TikTok, the platform is way less forgiving, and that's why people keep pumping creatives, because they're on a very low budget compared to the cost to consumer or AOV. So you want to make sure that you do that. So one of the biggest lessons I had to go through, and probably, to be honest, I'm still going through it, is what adjustments you have to make when you're moving from Facebook and YouTube and Google into TikTok. So usually what happens is someone is very good and familiar with one ad platform, and when they migrate into TikTok, they're moving the same methodology into TikTok, and it doesn't really work. So a few things that I had to adjust. One, I stopped running advertorials. Okay, so some of the campaigns, 50% of my campaigns run directly. And that's a part of being very native and open with the users over there, because you don't want to trick them. These are people that when they see advertorials, they feel like it's a scam. So 50% of my campaigns, when I A/B tested, had better results when I stopped running advertorials. The other thing is that I am no longer using those UGC stuff, that everyone's using. I'm using long form, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5-minute videos, and that works. You educate the customer and it works amazing. And I'm much more open and native. So for example, if on Facebook I would try and not talk about the fact that this product is already on Amazon, on TikTok I wouldn't mind, and I would push towards Amazon, and I would tell people, you know what, we're on Amazon, you can go buy there. Another less geeky kind of like thing is that because the platform is premature, you really want to take a look at CTR and the relationship between CTR and CPC there. On Facebook, you could get a very high CTR, but still get a very high CPC. On TikTok, there is a direct correlation. So you want to make sure that you're using discovery cards. You want to make sure that you're pushing the user into clicking as much as possible.